It's the flip man. You want some money in your hand? Flipping houses without credit or your cash. Get that bag.
Show 131. We are live, and Adrian needs to turn me down. And hey, we got something new. We're gonna try here. We're gonna let individuals call in, and we'll see how it goes. And if it goes well, we'll continue to do it. Bring a little bit more life to the show. We'll still try to read some comments, also, I guess, and we'll try to mix it up. So, what's going on, ladies?
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
I'm excited about the new calls.
Yeah, y'all see the number on the screen, 205-386-0035. If they're on Instagram, 205-386-0035. If you're on Facebook, you should be able to see it on the podcast. This is a replay anyway, so you won't get it. But on Facebook and YouTube, you can see the number, and on Instagram or Periscope, you can call in. So that's what's up. 205-386-0035. We'll keep repeating it.
All right, so let's get this thing. This is show 131, correct?
131.
131. It's February 20th, and as you all know, this is the place where you ask your questions in regards to wholesaling. And Ty, or the beautiful Miss Renikia, will answer your questions. As Ty mentioned, we're going to try something a little different. So if you are the lucky one that gets through with your call, please make sure you tell us your name and where you're calling and then just proceed to ask your question. If I feel like there's any follow-up that's going to come along with the question, I'll hold you on the line. Otherwise, after you ask your question, I'll probably disconnect and go ahead and have the line open for the next person. So I do see quite a few of you. Hey, Shine Bright, Arkansas, Paul from Knoxville, Tanya from Philly, JJ from South Kakalaki, South Carolina, South California. I don't know. Let's see. We just going to go with it. Derek J is from Chicago. Tracy joining us from Facebook says, good evening, Omar and Ronnie and Al Kubin. I see you guys. Instagram, I see several of you lining up there. Gabriel, Mike, Boy Wonder. I like the way you spell that. William Flip with Rick and Lacey Leon. You're currently watching on YouTube. That's awesome. You can watch on YouTube, Facebook. And as Ty mentioned earlier, the video will be available to stream once we're done on YouTube. And Lanthony Purdom from Montgomery, Alabama. All right, without further ado, again, that number is 205-386-0035. It is on your screen. Now I sit here just rejected like 3 calls. Now when I need one, it ain't one. So here we go. Let's try this.
To accept this call.
All right. Welcome to the Flip Show. State your name and go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, hello, my name is Scott. I'm doing virtual wholesaling. I hope everybody's having a great evening.
Okay, you're going to have to cut down your, because there's a little delay on your screen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're figuring this out. So thank you, Scott. So yeah, guys, if you call in, you're going to have to, no different than calling in on the radio, silence the background noise, and because there's a little delay there. Okay, we're ready now.
Okay. All right. I cut down my volume. It's nice to see the famous flip man and the lovely lady working with him.
Okay. What's your question?
I have some properties I can get at 70 cents on the dollar right there in Alabama. Does that sound like something the flip man might be interested in?
Yeah, what part of Alabama?
Dothan and I know in Dothan and another city. I don't have it. I'm in New York City right now.
Okay, well, do this for me. You can the best way. Okay, do this for me. Email. Well, do this. Just call me tomorrow. 205-492-3425. My number is all over my video. So just give me a call tomorrow.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Scott, for being our first caller.
Could you hear that, Reniki?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Very well.
Okay,
Very
good.
well.
Okay, good.
So let's see here. Eric says, hello, philanthropist. Good day, A, and Rennie the Pretty. Quick question. What would you suggest as a place to open your new business banking account? Commercial bank, community bank, or a credit union? Any preferences on that?
Honestly, I will say this. I mean, banks is really no preference. I mean, honestly, the more relationships, the more bank relationships you have, the more banking vehicles that you have. So I would just say build relationships with banks, regardless of what type of banks it is. But most importantly, sometimes you want to build relationships with more of a nationwide bank. I don't want to, promote any banks, but there are some banks that is just nationwide, across all states. No matter where you're doing business, there is a presence in that state. So it's really just a individual preference. What do you say?
Ty, any feedback on that?
So I concur.
Okay. As you see there on your screen, you can send deals to dealulator.com if you're looking for cash buyers or 50-50 JV splits. Dealulator.com is going to be your opportunity to partner with Ty. Here we go with our next call. Let's see here. Hey, thank you for calling Flip this Thursday. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Denver, calling from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Welcome, Denver. Thank you for calling in. You are our second caller. This seems to be working pretty well. If you can hear us, go ahead with your question.
Awesome. I didn't actually think I was going to get in. First of all, thank you guys for hosting this. Just been learning and binge watching all your videos, and it's really helping a lot. But my question is, I just found out that one of my friends, I used to live in Minnesota for like 7-8 years, and found out that they just recently became a realtor. So I know the metro area pretty well up there, the Minneapolis/St. Paul area. And I was just wondering, I have a call with them tomorrow just to go over, how we can help each other. And I was just wondering what questions should I have in mind to ask them for them to help me out.
Okay. We'll be happy to answer that question for you. You can just listen. What was my name?
Denver.
His name is Denver, and he's in Minneapolis.
Yeah, Minnesota.
Oh, Minnesota. Okay.
Minnesota.
Yeah, he said he had a friend. Didn't he say he had a friend that had just become a realtor? And you want to know what can he ask him?
Yeah, how they can partner up, how that.
Yeah, how can they be
beneficial?
Yeah, you're a realtor, Renee. Go ahead, run that.
Okay, so most importantly, I think everyone as a wholesaler, investor in real estate, you should have realtor partners, realtor friends. There will come a time where there is an added benefit. So sometimes sometimes realtor get properties, and if they have a buyer prior to putting it on the market, you can almost, if you have relationships with that realtor, they can send you that property before they put it on the market and expose it to many other buyers that's on the market. So that's the one added benefit, and just see, are they, getting properties in the market, and prior to them putting it on the market, could they give you first dibs at it or something of that nature? And then, you may get into a point where you want to hotel, retail, or whatever the case may be able to put those properties back on the market for a quick sale. Most importantly, you want someone that is knowledgeable in the area where you're investing. And a lot of times realtors, they really study the markets, and they really know what's going on. So to be able to have that extra eye and that extra partner on your team that can add value in that way. Most importantly, just being able to piggyback deals, and that realtor to be able to benefit on the sale of those.
All right, Denver, hopefully that answered your question. Hopefully that partnership turns out well for you. Going to our next call in, if you would tell us your name and where you are.
Brandon Horn from Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Welcome, Brandon. What's your question today?
Really not even a question. But just wanted to get a little bit more information as far as just normally what I've been doing is just doing driving for dollars. And with that driving for dollars, I found myself getting all the way up to the point where I got the house, but I don't know how to get in contact with the person. I understand the process of getting out there and doing the I can't think of the term right now. However, sometimes I just lose a little bit of motivation as far as trying to make sure I get everything done, and I sometimes fall into that diminishing intent as far as closing deals. Maybe you could just kind of give me a little insight or a little motivation on that, I guess.
All right, Renikia and Ty, we'll let you answer that. Thank you for calling, Brandon.
Well, yeah, I guess he's just basically saying he's just a little afraid to take the next step. Sounds like he's putting some good lead work in to try to generate some leads. And the attitude, it's just about your attitude. And I know we want to do everything. We don't want to fail at anything. But as an entrepreneur, which basically that's what a real estate investor is you're an entrepreneur. You're in basically a business, and a failure is a part of it because everything is not going to work. And you have to just know that there's so many opportunities out there that if a seller doesn't want to do it the way you want to do it, right, for the most part, then hey, next. That needs to be your favorite word, next. I could use two other words, but I'm not going to use those. But your favorite word needs to be next, next. If they don't want to do it the way you want to do it, Brandon, next. And I know you're going to feel like you just got to say the perfect thing. And what you soon also realize is that it's just going to boil down to price. Now, you want to try to figure out what their motivation is and just listen to the person. And a lot of times they let you know where, hey, you need to point out, hey, yeah, I know you want this price, but, because this or that, we can't do a deal at that price. And then on top of that, which I've been sleeping on for years, done a little of it, should have done thousands of it in at least these types of offers, is even though the price may not work as a wholesale deal, may be a perfect owner finance or creative financing opportunity. So, but the main thing is have the attitude, hey, I got $10 million in the bank. I don't care if you do a deal with me or not. Next. What you got?
I like that. And I'll just add to that, because I think as entrepreneurs, as investors, as anyone just getting into the game, regardless of what you're doing, we go through that moment of just discouraged, that moment of, it's just not adding up. But most importantly, I think when it comes to real estate, understand it's a numbers game. If you're looking at it as if I got one contract, let me put my all into that, it's gonna play on your emotions when you put your all into one deal. So try to focus on numbers. If I have 15 of these contracts out there, I know one or two of them may come back. So focus on, how do I get my numbers up? How do I get more people seeing my marketing? How do I put out more? Because at the end of the day, if you play the power of numbers, it's going to come back anyway. So just play the powers of numbers. In the midst of getting discouraged, which we all get there, I would say this: success is measured by the depth of your faith. So if you really believe in what you're doing, it'll come apart. It'll come to life. So believe in what you're doing, and if you believe in that this really works, eventually it will. It's just a matter of, do you have faith to carry you through those moments of delays, between blessings, I would say.
All right. Let's see here. Let's go straight into our next caller. Let's see here. Please go ahead and tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hi, my name is Giovanna, calling from Jersey. I'm nervous right now. I know I'm going to get through. Okay.
Don't be nervous, Giovanna.
Okay. Hi, Ty. Hi, Renikia.
What's up?
Wow.
Okay, quick question. So I was interested in your referral program, and I sent some referrals.
Okay.
Okay, I sent some referrals. I wanted to know if there was a way to know if the referrals were a good lead, or if is there any kind of confirmation that you would know if it was a good lead or a bad lead?
Well, yeah, just simply do this for me. Leave her on. Simply just do this for me, if you can hear me. Just anytime you send one over, if you haven't heard from anyone in 2 days, just reach out to me. I'll check on it for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the number? The number I just called today?
No. The number that's on all of my
On the website?
Yeah, 205-492-3425. I'll put it up here on the screen. It'll be talking about my coaching and stuff, but that's the same number you'll want to call it or whatever. I'll put it on the screen right now. So.
All right.
Okay. Oh, thank y'all so much.
No worries. Thank you, Javonna. Have a good day.
You're welcome. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. Wow. If you're calling and you're either getting declined, like swiped right, left, whatever it is, they're coming in so fast.
Wow.
And
This
if I
is good, Ty.
so I'm trying to answer you guys. So see, I just answered like 3 at one time. So go ahead and tell us your name and where you're from. You're live.
My name is Johnny Magruder. I'm from College Station, Texas. And my question is, I got my first property under contract from Zillow, and it was a for sale by owner. Am I supposed to tell them to take that listing down, or does it matter if they keep it up or not?
He said he's gonna tell them to take it down.
That's a really good question right there. And I think this is something that, every wholesaler have an experience or will experience from one. So I would say this. If you are a true investor, which is your end buyer, you're going to do your due diligence. And if I do my due diligence, and if I see that the property is listed lower, I'm going to go around you if I'm an end buyer. And you got to think like an end buyer. Why would I pay higher when I can go directly to the source? So it's very important that, it's kind of like, take it down. You really want to ask them to. If not, it will, it will play a factor in you trying to sell your property on the back end.
Yeah, and the way you would do that, I guess, is that that you just need to just simply have some verbiage in your agreement to do it. Like the contract that I give away or whatever, there's a white space out beside the signatures. That would be a perfect place that you can use a PDF editor to add that verbiage that, I don't know how you would word it, but any properties advertised on, said websites or whatever, you're agreeing to remove those as soon as you sign this agreement or whatever. So, so that's, you just want to negotiate that. That's that should be like a deal breaker for you. You know what I'm saying? That, they need to remove it, within a certain time frame. Hopefully that same day that you put it in the contract, before you started getting it out there. So.
All right, our next caller, you are live. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Shaquila, I'm calling from Texarkana, Arkansas.
Hey, Shaquila, how are you?
All right, ready, y'all?
We're well.
Okay.
Everybody, because they talk.
We're great.
What's your question?
Okay, I have a property. The ARV is like 6872. It was 2 different on Zillow and Realtor.com, and it's in like a low C, high D neighborhood. I got it under contract for $18,000, and I'm marking it for $23,000, but I'm not getting any hits on it. So do I need to take it down, lower the price?
Okay, so you said we're just going to go with 68,000.
That's what
As the ARV. You say,
around.
Yeah, you say you got it under contract for 18.
And the repairs about 10,000.
What are you doing to market it?
All right.
I have it on Facebook, Craigslist.
Is the owner that you have it in the contract? You think they're internet savvy? They're not. You don't think? Okay.
I don't think so.
Anyone living in it? Okay. Put it on Zillow. Now, the way you have to put it on Zillow, once you post the ad, Zillow is going to call you, and they just basically are going, this way it's set up now, it may change in the future, but they're going to verify the information on there. If you put on there 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, they're going to ask you that. They're going to ask you the address, and then they're going to want you to confirm the phone number that you used for your ad or whatever. That's what I would encourage you to do, is to place it on Zillow as one. Have you put signs out in the area for the property?
No.
Okay, put some signs out, just some bandit signs. You turn them, flip them over. You already have some, or you have to go pull up somebody else's sign, whatever. I'm not telling you steal, but anyway. I just got to get Gator.
Wow, Gator, that is Gator.
Yeah.
Imagine coming back to your sign and somebody else written on the backside of it.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
And I haven't seen that in Atlanta. That's some Gator stuff right there.
I just laugh.
That's nice. I like it though.
So yeah, cheap house for sale, 25,000, whatever your price, and you want to put out, if possible, maybe 10 to 15 out in that area, not per se on the property, but in that general area. You definitely want to reach out to other wholesalers for it. What else? You want to join real groups if you have any in your area. I should have a video coming out in the next couple of days where you can use Digulator to target agents that have listed properties for cash buyers, which normally are going to be investors. They bought it cash months ago, and then they relisted it with an agent, and then they either sold it, pending, fail, or whatever. So that'll be an opportunity. And then at the end of the day, you can still submit it to Digulator.com. We'll take a look at it. If we can do something with it, we'll let you know, or whatever. So,
do you have it on Craigslist?
She said Craigslist, didn't she?
Mm-hmm, she did.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. You have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
Oh.
Hotline.
Oof. Goodness.
The hotline.
Hey, thank you for calling. What's your name?
My name is Rick from Dallas, Texas.
You don't have to. You can turn it. The speakers at the bottom. You don't have to turn it.
Oh, hey Rick. Yeah, I got you, Rick. You have a little feedback. Turn your video down a little bit. So, what's your question?
So my question is, I'm just now getting into this, and last year I missed minimum $50,000 in wholesale deals. Okay, and I was just calculating numbers because I can have the contract. Now I found Ty, and he gives out a free contract. So my question was, how? Because it sounds surreal to me. You know, I just can't fathom making 20 grand, 30 grand off of flipping one contract, basically with no money down. So how real is it? Because I don't know anyone around that's done it. You know.
Good.
Wow.
That's a good question. I'm calling with that. It can seem like it's impossible, but it's not. You have, Ty, Renika, and you have all of the subscribers, users, viewers, then, you have the testimonials. But what do you think about that, Ty? Thank you, Rick.
Well, go ahead, Renika. You can start on that. Go ahead.
That's how I start, because I know Ty got something. I would say this here. The wholesale technique is nothing new under the sun. Take real estate out of it. There's no difference from you taking your iPhone or taking someone else's iPhone and upselling it and selling it to your friend for an extra $50. You just made $50 without it changing any money. So the wholesale, it's just the wholesale technique, regardless if it's real estate or if it's another product, is the fact that it's just real estate, and real estate has a higher spread than other products. So just look at it as the wholesale technique. It's no difference from wholesale and anything else. It's when you're able to identify a product, upsell it, charge it, and sell it to someone else without having to physically exchange any money. So it's really, really simple, and it's a lot less complicated than you think. And
yeah, just to piggyback on what he said, is he didn't know anyone that did it or whatever. As much as this information is on the internet, right, compared to years ago, just think about when I started, the internet was around, but it wasn't, YouTube, I think had, I don't even know what year the YouTube started, like 07 or something like that. So it didn't even exist when I started in 03. I'm pretty sure of that. And so there were sites out there with on it, but you didn't have like a library of videos basically on that topic and pretty much any topic, whether it's foolishness or something of usage or whatever. So even now with all of the people that put out stuff out there, like myself, Max Maxwell, Mark Whidden, Sean Terry, Ron LeGrand, you can just keep going down the list, Brent Davis, just on and on and on, right? And then you can still walk into Target, Walmart, anywhere and ask 10 people and 9 of them have never heard of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, which that's still a good thing in a sense if someone wants to get into the business. So your circle of friends are not going to, I don't know you, but just if you got a circle of friends like me, the people that I says a lot about me. If they didn't know me, none of them would have heard of wholesaling, right?
Right, exactly.
If they didn't know me, that's what I mean. I don't mean like the people I've met since I've been wholesaling. I'm talking about people that I know, that I've been knowing a long time, whatever. They wouldn't know it exists if they didn't know me or whatever. So don't get caught up into that part of it, man. We're not putting this stuff out here just for la la land. You know what I'm saying? This is real. The black skin on my face times 1,000. You know what I'm saying? It's real, my man. Just take this information. Just be glad you are even aware of it. And all of this free content is out here for you to take free content that can turn into literally millions and just being real because, wholesaling is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to real estate, just literally the tip of the iceberg. So
there you have it.
Okay.
All right. Hi, El Hod, Shaq from Westside D-Town, Tanya in Philly, Deborah, Franklin Davis. I see you all. Pedro, the Godasaur, and Sweet Reds on Instagram. Sticking with our phone calls, we're going to go ahead and take the next one. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, this is John, the SC Flip Man. What's going on?
What's going on, John? Y'all say, hey, John.
Hey, John.
What's up?
What's your question?
Quick question, and good to hear from you, Ty and Renika. And just enjoying the content. Quick question. When I'm looking at the funding side of it, because I'm being more aggressive on my wholesaling side down here in South Carolina, and as we call it, Chucktown. Well, I'm being more aggressive with that. So my question is on the flip side, flipping and funding and flipping. If I'm developing a little bit more reserves for my gap funding, and I get this question a little bit more to Renika, is it still possible to be able to get that, say, 90% funding and 100% on the rehab as far as for a funding of a fix and flip?
Okay.
I need the actual gap funding because I created enough revenue through wholesaling.
Right. Yeah. See, gap funding is only there if you need it. If you need down payment money, if you need to offset some of your expenses, if you need marketing dollars, if you need to start your rehab, or you just want that cushion, gap fund is there. But if you have that down payment, you have your money to secure that down payment, you really don't need gap funding. So when it comes to either 90% purchase and 100% rehab, it falls completely down on your experience. You can show a minimum of 4 to 5 or 6 houses that you have fixed and flipped over the last 36 months or even over your lifetime. I could probably squeeze that in. We can get you that 90%. So.
Okay. Well, I do have a lot of rehab experience from another type of job that I do as far as rehabbing homes. But I haven't done a flip yet, but I have the rehab experience on the construction side, so maybe that will work in my favor.
I mean, it won't, only because we look at you actually taking possession of the property and selling the property. But the ways around that, maybe you have a partner who has experience. We could work out the paperwork where we can use that partner's experience to get you closer, to get you to that 90%.
All right, and
All right, appreciate it. I'll be in touch. Hey, once again, good to see you, Flip, man. You're putting in the work, man.
No problem, man. Thanks for calling in.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
all right, there you go, John. And for anyone else that needs to get in contact with Renikia, that information is right there on the screen. She's available across all social media platforms. You can go to fundmynextdeal.com. Again, that's fundmynextdeal.com. Shoot her an email. Someone from her staff, or you might be lucky, it might be Rennie herself, will contact you in 48 to 72 hours. And again, she's across all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and you can email funding@fkfinancials.com. And I'll say it one more time for you, funding@fkfinancials.com. There we have it. All right, guys. So if you haven't noticed, and if you're just joining us, we're trying something new. I think it's working out pretty good. I can't keep up with the calls. So I see everybody's like, I'm calling, I can't get in. Okay, because I'm declining. I'm sorry. I'm just putting it out there. I can only answer one at a time. Keep calling. Like I like this.
Me too.
I got this.
This is nice.
Only took 3 years to figure it out. I copied my boy from wholesaling hotline, Jamil and Pace. I said, damn.
That's what it is.
All right, so jumping right into this thing. Go ahead and tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is DeMarcus. I'm calling from California.
Hey, DeMarcus from Cali. What's your question
How
tonight?
you doing? Hey, Flip man. Okay, so here's my question. I have a house that's been in escrow for over a month. Now, with this house, it was grant deeded 3 times. One from the original grant holder, one to and then to his sister, and then again from that sister to herself in a name change. Okay. Is there any way around this paperwork that I need to prove that she had her name changed in order for my buyer to close escrow?
All right, thank you for that. We'll let Renee answer.
What type of name change? Last name?
No. So she came over in from Mexico. And when she got here, she did her immigration papers. They switched her name from her birth name in Mexico to a U.S. name. So her first name and last name changed because she got here in the States.
Does she have the paperwork to prove that?
That's what I'm trying to find out. She doesn't. She said her husband did all of that. Her husband's deceased, so she doesn't know where to locate that paperwork from.
I would start with the immigration office because I'm assuming she's a legal resident, right?
Right.
So she should be able to go down to the immigration office and acquire that information. That should be pretty much that cut and dry.
Right. That's it.
Okay.
All right. Hopefully that'll
Okay,
get you.
I'm gonna do that. Thank you, Flip man. Thank you, Reniki.
All right, no problem, man.
Have a good night.
That's interesting.
Hotline. To accept this call.
Oh, stop it. I'm getting there. Hey, what's your name and where you calling from?
Hi, good evening. My name is Satyam. I'm calling from New Jersey.
Hi, from New Jersey.
Hi.
What's your question?
My question, there's one property that I went to see. The person is died and his brother and his sister. They wanted to, sell the property. And when I went to see the property, it seems like the location it's not really a good location. the price that they're asking, I can even, get the property like when I thought about it, like if they give me free that, what am I gonna do with the property? The tax are in New Jersey is really high, and even I was thinking like if I get the property, there's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house there, but everything seems like not right. I didn't get into house, but location wise, when I look at it, it's not a good location. It's like top of like near the mountain area and around the area that people are.
Okay. Do you have any numbers on it as far as price, ARV? Have they given you a price?
The price in that area, I seen that like a house price goes like around 100, 30. The price that they're asking for this house, it's somewhere around 29. But when I look at it, going down the hill, like there's no good entry. On the other side the street, there is some houses that area. But the entry on this house, actually, it's not really good entry. It's like everything, it seems like weird.
Okay.
I would say this. Sellers will ask whatever they want to ask for their property. If they can get an extra $100,000 out of anybody, they're gonna ask for it. So regardless of what the seller is asking, it's up to us as investors to somewhat educate them on what their true value is. So all you can do is say, hey, I don't, after doing my due diligence, the value of the property that I see is this, or your value is around this price, so it's a little overpriced. So this is the best offer that I can give to you according to the repairs on your house and according to the comps. So it's a numbers game. If the numbers doesn't make sense, the deal doesn't make sense. It's really that simple. So if they want more, tell them, hey, do you mind if I call you back in a few months to see if you still want to sell it? Because a lot of times when it's overpriced, it's going to be there for another couple months anyway, because the market really dictates. No one is trying to overpay for no one's properties. So educate the seller and counter offer.
All right. So educate the seller and offer a counter offer. Hopefully that helps you out there in New Jersey. Thank you for calling in. Let's see here. Going right ahead into the next call. Tell us your location and your name.
Can I ask a question?
Sure. Go ahead. You're not going to tell me your name though?
My name is Joseph from Oakland.
Hey, Joseph from Oakland.
Yes. I got his modules. I think you know me from Oakland. I ain't talked to him in a while. I've been posting up my bandit signs, but they keep taking them down. But I guess security. I'm not tripping off that. My thing is, personally, I want to know how can I protect myself, because I do have a 9-to-5 job and I currently pay child support. You know what I mean? But if I make extra money besides that and they find out, they would ding me. So how can I protect myself?
No.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
No. That's a real question. That's a real life question.
That's a real one. Yeah.
Man,
real life.
That's a good topic too.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah, she's
if.
He said if.
He said if.
That's right. He said.
What's that?
Well, at the end of the day, my man, let's look at it like this, right? Okay. Say you got your 9-to-5 and whatever your child support situation is based off that income, along with your kid's mother, or whatever. Say you made an extra $100,000 wholesaling real estate and you still had your 9-to-5, right? Yeah, they gonna tax if you file it on your taxes, and she go back in for what they call what they call it. I know you know it. What's the term?
Oh, I ain't got to know about the baby
Everything.
mama stuff.
You know everything. That's what I'm asking you. Google. What's the phrase?
Gosh, I can't think of. You just put me on the spot, but it's just an adjustment.
A readjustment or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a term for it.
Yeah, I know it's a term for it. So, that's real, but oh man, it's just hard for me to say. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna add my 2 cents in.
I'll take care of my daughter. You know,
Modification.
Yeah. That's why
Modification.
gonna rile up some people. You know what I'm saying?
That's a modification. Let me tell you this, Mr. Oakland.
Yeah,
I love the kids, so I don't want to help you hide anything. But if you need to do that, when you make money in your LLC, it's something called a tax write-off. You can write off all your expenses. You can write off a lot of expenses where, regardless, you made 100,000, you can write off 90,000 if that's how much expenses that you expense that year, which lower your tax liability. So it doesn't look like you made 100. It looks like you only made an extra 10. So properly file your taxes, write off your expenses so you can lower your tax liability.
Lower your tax liability, not responsibility. We're going to go with that.
Oh, I like that. Lower your tax liability, not responsibility.
That's right. Lower the tax.
Yeah, I know they win on that. Ooh, that's real with that though. You probably when you read that's been a real.
That's what I get. Phone calls.
Hey, that's real though. Let's go.
That's real. That's real life right there. What they talking.
All right. Next caller, please state your name and where you're calling from. And no tax questions.
Price calling from New Jersey.
New Jersey. I'm sorry, I talked over you. What was your name?
MACON.
Hey, Macon. How are you?
I'm doing great. And yourself?
Well, this is Adria, by the way. I don't get to talk to anybody, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you ask your question.
Okay. Can I ask it now?
Yes, you have.
Okay, I got a 2-part. So the first part is, at what point do I need to get an LLC? I haven't got my first deal yet, so the beginner, do I need my LLC before I start, or can I wait until afterwards?
Good question.
Okay, and what's the second part? We'll answer it all together, Macon. So first
Okay,
part is on
thank you.
LLC.
So the second part is I have a list of over 450 vacant properties in my city. And I'm wondering, should I work on my buyer's list?
Somewhere in New Jersey.
Or should I work on trying to get the contract from the seller?
All right, Randy. So 2 parts. First part.
LLC.
So I'll tackle the first part. So LLC, I would say this: use what you have. If you have the money to start it and invest into an LLC up front, do it. If you don't, use your name. It's not something that you must, but I would say this: once you start making money, you want to start writing off your taxes and writing off your expenses, so you don't have to pay taxes on all the money that you made. You can only do that within the entity. So use what you have until you can afford to invest into an LLC, I would say.
As far as those vacant properties, you need to go ahead and put your list together, whether you're going to reach out to owners by mail and or phone, and then see if there's some opportunities there. You asked about building a buyer's list first. You can do that, obviously. Both will work, whether you build a buyer's list first or find a great deal. If you need buyers for them, just go to dealyourlater.com. You can submit them there. We can partner on those deals. So just however you want to go about it, my man. But the first thing, you definitely got to reach out to those that list. And one of the new features in Deal Your Later, aka PropStream, I got a video coming out next week, so an update. You can now upload your list, and it's just going to automatically populate everything as far as the owner's information, which ones are vacant. Well, you already see that vacant. Whether they're absentee properties, whether they're tax liens, pre-foreclosures, it just automatically tell you that with the entire list or whatever. So depending on how you set up your filters. but those are the default filters. So so it just depends how you want to go about it. But if you got that list, 450 is a good number. I wouldn't try to get any more. Try to go ahead and you got all those from Driving for Dollars?
Wow.
No, I work for the city, and I actually got it from a friend of mine at City Hall.
Okay, good. Okay, so if
Can you sell them one off, or you got to sell them as a group?
No, this is an individual. These are individual properties, right? Individual owners, I mean.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a list that the somebody that works at the city gave them a Vacant Properties.
Wow.
Yeah.
You got a gold mine right there.
Yeah. So so did they give them to you in a spreadsheet or something?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that video, you'll see it next week. It'll show you how you can upload that entire list, and you can skip trace the list in a matter of seconds, right there through the tool.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. So what you think about this thing here, Ty?
Oh, well, sounds good to me. What y'all think?
I love it.
I don't know. I feel like I'm not getting as many questions, but they're able to be thorough with their questions. I don't have to try to figure it out, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Like
and we can ask questions back quickly.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. All right. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Hi.
Hi, this is Tracy Denny.
It's Tracy.
Calling from Greensboro, North Carolina.
Okay, that's what's up.
Tracy, go ahead.
Hi,
what's your
Flippinar.
question?
Hi, lady.
Hi.
Okay, so I'm new to the game, and I have a mentor here that I've been working with, and she's awesome. But I was able to on my own find a lead, and I have them under contract right now, current. So 2 questions. One, would you have any cash buyers, or would you like to buy it?
Yes.
And then 2, other than Facebook Marketplace, because I just get so many like scammers or something. Where else is a good place to market this property so I can move it?
Well, if you look on your screen right now, you can submit through dealator.com. We'll take a look at it and love to partner with you if you have those on a contract. But if you don't want to fool with us, how you can find your own cash buyers. You can still market there on Facebook Marketplace. That's a place you can do it. You just have to sift through the foolishness. Craigslist. We sort of went through this a moment ago. You'll want to put out signs in the area, abandoned signs, cheap house for sale, whatever price you put on it, and your phone number. You already hung over.
No, Tracy's phone call was disconnected, but go ahead.
Okay.
She's listening.
And so what else was other wholesalers. You want to join a real group and network there. You can go through real estate agents also. There's a method through the madness on that. Just a Google search, buy my house, Greensboro, North Carolina, sell my house fast, Greensboro, North Carolina. Investors, whether they're wholesalers or actual flippers or just investors, period, they spend a lot of money to be on the first page of Google. You want to reach out to those individuals also.
All right. There you go, Tracy. I know your call was, it seems like maybe.
Oh, and LinkedIn groups also. Go ahead.
You know what? We're not going to do that today. Okay. So, yes.
No more calls?
No, he's like, it'll be at a standstill. And as soon as I get on the call, then like 5 calls come in. Now's the time. Call.
Oh, yeah, well, call.
Yeah.
We got an open line. We got an open line.
Let's see here. So I see a lot of these questions about where our other subscribers and users are located or whatever the case may be. I would highly suggest you guys join the Wholesaling Real Estate with the Flipman. There's like 50,000 people in that group now. Go ahead and join there. Then you can post your question and ask, are there other people in your area that you can partner up with if need be? Because I see someone wants to know who's in ATL, who's in Texas, who's wherever. Our Arkansas, Avery's there. So join that group so you can partner up with like-minded individuals like yourself and maybe do some things. Okay, so back to the calls. What's your name and where you're from?
I'm from Orlando. What's going on?
What's going on?
What's happening?
Okay.
I think you know who I am. Right? Think about guess who I am.
Oh, I'm afraid. Oh, it better not be L Hodge. It's L Hodge.
Oh
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Got her.
Slip through. You know what?
As soon as I seen that number was available, oh, you know what time it was.
Okay, well, call it true. We'll call it true.
Oh yeah.
Live.
Okay. I'm going to give a shout. I don't want to keep up the line too long, but you know, I had to let you hear my voice. I be cheating you online. We going back and forth all the time. You know what I'm saying?
We do. Well, thank you for calling in. Do you have a question, comment, any motivational story for the listeners? Anything you got to say?
Oh, okay. You know, a motivational story. I mean, I could tell you about some things.
Not a story, just a motivational tip.
Line.
No, maybe on the next show I'll get them on something,
All right. Well, thank you for calling. Listen to the chat. Come back to the chat.
Love, peace, and hair grease when I look at you.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, the day.
Right. See live calls, maybe.
Hey, thank you for calling. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hi,
You made it through. You did. What's your name?
my name is Derek.
Hey, Derek from Maryland.
Hey, so I'm new to wholesaling. I just recently started 2 weeks ago. I've just been going hard on marketing, as far as banner signs, using the deal machine ad just to start mailing services to mail to Vacant Properties and also skip tracing. However, I just want to know what other methods do you use when skip tracing is not as efficient? Like, have been skip tracing a whole bunch of numbers, a whole bunch of people, but however, I'm not getting like actual right numbers.
What are you using?
Come on, say it again. Sorry?
What are you using?
I'm using PropStream actually.
Okay. And so when you say you're not getting how many have you skip traced? How large of a list?
So far skip traced about 50.
Okay. And half, less than half?
Half.
Okay. That's about right. As far as getting numbers or being able to reach people?
Being able to reach people mostly.
Oh, okay. That's the cold calling game, my man.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, if you half of them, you're actually doing good.
I mean, absolutely. I would say 10%. You're really winning if you got 10, 20%.
Reaching half of them, you kicking it. So yeah. So imagine if that was 500. You know what I'm saying? Now you're at 250 that you reached. You feel me?
Yeah.
So yeah, it takes a lot to on that cold call side of it to produce some numbers on it. But yeah, that's good. If you're reaching over 50%, around 50%, you good. Yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. You just need to do more.
All right, Derek. Yes, keep it up. So you're doing better than you thought you were doing, Derek. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. So
lines are open.
Wait a minute. Pick your role. Hey, off-roader. I see you there. Again, guys, that number is 205-386-0035. That's mostly for my peeps on Instagram who cannot see what's posted on the screen. I'm sorry. I have the number in the chat, but again, it's 205-386-0035. Why can't you call South Great Realty? She says, I can't call. Oh, this might be you. Who is it? All right, you've reached Ty, the Flip Man, and Renikia and Adria. What's your name? Hi, Gerald. Where are you calling from?
New Jersey.
What?
New
Jersey? Jersey hot.
New Jersey in the house? What y'all selling out there? Find out.
What's your question?
Okay.
Oh yeah, turn down the back.
Turn down your
trying to do my first deal.
Okay, turn down your video in the background.
Okay, 1 second. Okay, is that better?
That's a lot better.
Okay, I'm getting ready to try to do my first deal. This is going to be a land deal. The guy has 8 acres. It's wooded.
25, it cannot be buildable unless you have 25 acres or more. So that's one negative. The other background check, this guy hasn't paid property taxes in almost 2 years, plus he has a lien. Okay, given these factors, and it's been in the market for 6 months, and he's kind of up in age, 85. Besides these factors, what other factors can I use when I go look at this land this weekend that I can use as leverage as far as getting the best possible price cash offer for this?
Well, what's your end game with the with the property, with the land? You just want to immediately try to flip it, and if so, what would make it attractive to a buyer? Which 25 acres is normally going to be attractive because you're just going to have some people that just like to gobble up land because they don't make any more of it. So
exactly, land is land.
Yeah, land is land. So what I would look for, okay, you know what the assessed value is with the county, right? If you can get it for half or less, you're going to probably be attracted to someone. But even with that, even if you can get the owner to owner finance it for you, that would even be even better. You can set up those terms and then just wholesale out those terms or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure the back tax is going to have to be negotiated to be taken care of. Within that negotiation of the terms, you have to keep that in mind when you're trying to set up where, hey, this is what I can get. This is what he wants down. This is what I can put down. I mean, what I would want in my pocket or whatever. And the down payment may just be to take care of the back taxes and the liens. And then you add on your fee. And I'm just throwing something out there or whatever. So just keep an open mind. Now, you just really want to just gather facts on it at that point. But 25 acres, that a lot of times that's just going to be attractive, period.
And I also add to that, like Todd said, he asked you a question, what is the exit? But most importantly, you got to think about the exit of the end buyer too, because although the land may be valued at a cost, I'm sure there's some land in California that is the right value, but do it really make sense to purchase that land because the cost is so high relative to what you're building on it? So, when you're purchasing something like that or trying to wholesale something like that, you got to take the end game in consideration. What are they building on that? What is the possibilities? Is it in the middle of residential areas? So most likely they're going to build subdivisions. Will they build houses? Will they build multifamily? And do it really make sense? The cost of it makes sense compared to what you're going to build on it as well.
Yes, actually, he said it was 6. I thought he said 25 acres, 6 acres.
It's 6 acres, but you have a minimum of 25 to build on it. So
okay. Yeah, you have to have it. I guess they got a county ordinance that you have to have at least 25 acres to build on it.
So someone can't go in and just build a house?
I guess not.
Or 6 houses on 1 acre on each acre?
I guess not.
No.
I guess they may have a provision. You never know politics. They may have somebody else got a provision for something else in mind or whatever. So you need to find out why that's like that.
All of that matters.
Yeah, because you need to find out why it's like that. What can be done there? Just sit there and just look, just land. You got to
right. No investor's going to do that. I mean, if they can't build on it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for calling in.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Hopefully.
Okay, and T Royalty 77 says, by the way, Flip really does answer that number for those who may not believe and always respond. So, I mean, Ty isn't sitting here putting out the number that's already placated all across the internet in the first place for no reason. I mean, it's not for kicks and giggles, guys. If you have a question or in need of his services, or if he's told you to call, just call and just say, hey, remember you told me to give you a call, and I'm calling in regards to this. I mean, he's really making himself like really available to you guys. I don't know anybody else that you see on the internet that gives you their personal number. The phone rings off the hook and it's annoying. Probably somebody, but I'm just all the time. But
you can't underestimate that.
Available to you all. Like, who else does that? Who else? All right, I got a call. What's your name? Where you calling from? And how are you doing tonight?
I think y'all talking to me, but I'm doing well. My name is JB Nathan. Over here in Little Rock, Arkansas.
All right.
Okay.
All right, Colin. We're good. What's your question? You got a question for us?
Instagram, we're going to go back live again
Yeah,
if you want to pick it back up.
I have a question from Mr. Taylor. Been watching the show for a while now, sir, and I noticed that you got the JV deal going on right now, and I was just wondering if you'd be interested in a property. I do have it under contract. Basically, the owner wants 17, so I know it's not much of a great deal, but I mean the ARV is around 40. Repairs are estimated between 5, maybe 10, depending on the contractor. It's a rental area currently, and so it's kind of up and coming. There are people moving in there because more and more properties are being renovated in that area. So I was just trying to see if that would be something you'd be interested as a JV.
On something like that, go ahead and submit it over. Do you think the owner would be go ahead and submit it over and then text me after you send it over. And I'll personally take a look at it. Just remind me. Well, I'll remember the Little Rock, Arkansas thing or whatever, and just send it over through the site.
Okay. Actually, sir, I actually uploaded it a couple of times to the Digulator link, and then I had asked again on the chat, but it didn't get through.
Do this for me. Just text me.
To send it to you again?
Yeah, just text me tomorrow. Just text me tomorrow whenever you do it, and I'll reach out to you. My number's on Digulator.com. Just text me, and I'll reach out to you.
Okay. Yes, sir. I'll do that.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Have a good night, Little Rock, Arkansas.
Same, Miss Lady.
Bye-bye. Good night. All right. Ooh,
Miss Lady.
You have to put business hours on that line.
On the 286? The 386?
Your number.
Oh.
All right. So let's see here. The line, the God.
Hey, before we go any further, I'll be at my mama's this weekend. Phone don't work there, so
don't take it personal.
After it gets dark tomorrow, I'll be there. I don't like I will be there. My phone doesn't work in Washington County, Alabama.
First of all,
I ain't telling you. I said Washington County.
I'm fine. I'm telling them woods.
Well, the county stuff, they can't find me. AT&T does not work in the 3 code.
I can find how y'all missing some towers out there.
Yeah.
All right, going to our next caller. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, what's going on? My name is Tremaine. I'm calling from Dallas.
Hey, Tremaine from Dallas. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Super tight.
Good. You have a question for us?
Good.
Yes, I do have a question. I actually have 2 questions. My first question is, I want to start wholesaling, but I want to start by cold calling. I want to know how big of a list would you recommend that I get? And my second question is, I've been to the website for my next deal for Reniki. I want to know when that site will be up. I want to know a little bit more about the flip funding that she does. Those are my 2 questions.
Oh, go ahead with your part, Reniki.
Okay. So if you do want to take advantage of any of our funding options, if you need gap funding, if you need fix and flip, we have a 30-year mortgage, kind of like a true mortgage. If you want to build rental income, cash out refinance. If you want to take advantage of that, just go to fundmynextdeal.com. It takes you right to our site, and you'll have all the information on all of our programs right there. And you can input your information on any of those programs to get started as well.
What was your first question, my man?
I want to start cold calling.
Okay.
Start a cold calling list. I want to know what
I don't know how big the list is.
$500, 500 maybe less or at least 1,000.
Yeah.
For his property.
500 is a good number because you're gonna have to you normally gonna have to go through a list anywhere between 7 to 10 times to feel like you've exalted all efforts on it. From research, now you'll want to call all times, but from research, they say the best times to call are between 4:30 to 6:30, depending on what time zone. Obviously, some people being in different time zones, but the majority of people being the same that you are in. Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays tend to be the best days, but I'm not saying don't call on Monday, Friday, and Saturday. Sunday's normally not off. People normally don't or whatever, but and then you still can call in the mornings and the afternoons. I'm just telling you the best times to do it. So, because everybody's schedule is not the same. So,
All righty. And would you say, because I'm in Dallas, but we still have a lot of counties around Dallas in this kind of rural areas. Do you think the rural areas will be better rather than inside or inside the city limits of Dallas for the properties or the distressed properties?
Well, what you may be defined as rural is the suburban areas of Dallas, right? So, it's a hit and miss. That's some of that stuff you're just gonna only find out from doing it. You know what I'm saying? You just want to target people with the population is dense. That's the main thing, or whatever, because that's where your numbers are going to be. A lot of activity as for sales and so on. 'Cause that's all it boils down to. A lot of transactions. So that normally means a lot of activity from investors. So.
Okay.
All right, good deal. Thank you. Hopefully that answered the questions, and go ahead and get started on that cold calling list.
Thank you, guys. You guys have a great night.
You too.
Me too.
Big. Okay. Woo. Wow.
Lines open.
You know what? As soon as you say that, the phone goes off the chain. Okay, listeners on Instagram, if you've noticed, it does go down briefly, maybe 30 seconds, less than a minute, and comes right back up. So hopefully those people have logged back in now. If you are joining us, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, please go ahead, subscribe to the channel so you'll be notified when content is uploaded. Make sure you hit the like button if you're liking the content that you're receiving today, the question and answer form. Again, tap the bell to turn on notifications. And Ask Flipman at Ask Flipman is on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So follow Ty on all of those platforms. And don't forget, Renikia is available across all of those platforms as well. It's Renikia Williams is her name. And you can also reach out to her at fundmynextdeal.com or email at funding@fkfinancials.com to reach out to her company and see if you are ready for that next level wholesaling, buying and holding, or whatever it is that you might need financial backing for. Her company is most definitely available to you, and she'll help you get you going in the right direction of building generational wealth by using your credits. Now, we're not going to take too many more. This is I'm making me work today.
Oh, well, how you doing?
I'm well. May I ask who's calling?
Yes, Jared from North Carolina.
Hi, Jared from North Carolina. Thank you for calling into the Flip Show. What's your question?
Well, I had a recent layoff, and I was prior to the layoff, I was going through some things as far as learning more about wholesaling, and just kind of got away from it for a little bit. Now in a position where survival mode has kicked in, and want to know what would be some ideas of really get myself back out there in order to really get this thing up and running. Got a couple of $1,000s put together as far as savings wise, and just want to make sure I'm not out here wasting money nor time. So somebody can just kind of elaborate a little bit more. I know driving for dollars, cold calls and things like that work, but I'm not looking for any overnight success either, but that would be great if that was the case.
Mm.
Okay.
What,
Yeah,
what market are you in?
that's a good starting marketing budget for sure. You're already driving for dollars, so that's just gas money, whatever. And you're building a list that you can mail to and call through skip tracing. What city you say you're in?
The phone, Jared, it disconnected.
Okay. No, he said it was in North Carolina. I forget what he said, but
Okay.
I would definitely try to do bandit signs. I know y'all get tired of me hearing it, but they're cheap and they work if you do it correctly or whatever. And from there, I would just sort of stagger that 2,000 out. Still do a lot of driving for dollars, bandit signs, cold calling. Just put yourself on a schedule with that cold calling. I probably would do most of my stuff in the early part of the day, and I'll get home around 4, like I say, 4 to 6, 6:30, and just start banging out calls. From your research, from your driving for dollars, and your intake calls from your bandit signs. Maybe do some direct mail to specific properties. And if you're gonna do direct mail to a handful, I would do stuff FedEx and UPS on certain properties, especially if they were out of town owners. If I did research on a vacant property, I would send them some to FedEx or UPS because it increases my chances of them reading my message. You know what I'm saying? Because you've taken that extra step to reach out to them. So that's what I would recommend. What you got, Renikia?
That's a tough position to be in, but I understand it. Most importantly, I think it's truly just staying consistent and doing something every day to generate leads. Most importantly, stay consistent to just generate leads on a daily basis. Wake up and just figure out what I'm going to do today to make sure my phone is ringing. And another thing, don't be afraid to reach out to other wholesalers in your market in the area. Go out to real groups and just co-wholesale. I'm sure there's some wholesalers right now that needs a buyer. If you have the buyer, they may have the property, and you may can get a deal done here in the next 30 days or so. So, utilize your market, utilize other co-wholesalers and other wholesalers in your market, and see if you can piggyback on a deal with them.
All right. Hopefully, sorry, I'm not sure what happened there. I think his call disconnected. I do believe it was Jared. So, most definitely tough times, but I like it. He says he's in survival mode. Like, hey, it's time to grind, binge, grind, stack, get out there and get it. Not looking for overnight success. I'm glad he said that as well, but just trying to put things in motion for a positive outcome. And it sounds, like he's on the right track. Guys, we've been here for an hour plus. Yay! I love the new setup. Appreciate everyone that made it through the lines and asked their questions. We will most definitely continue this next week. So go ahead and plug and chug this number in and be ready to dial in on that dialer to come in. I'll figure out a better system of putting you guys on hold versus just declining the calls. I haven't figured that out yet. But yeah, I liked it. What you thought, Renikia?
No, I loved it. I loved it. It was the perfect touch.
Yeah. Ty?
Oh yeah, it works well. It's more personable.
Personable. Okay. So we will be here next Thursday. That's 6:30 p.m. Central Time, 7:30 Eastern. We did again telling you guys pushed it back a little bit to give you and everyone else a little bit more time to hop on and join us, where you can ask your questions in regards to wholesaling. On your screen there, send deals to dealyoulater.com. If you want to partner up with Ty, if you need cash buyers, if you're looking, now's the time. Y'all have asked for it over and over and over again. Can I work with you? Can I work with you? How can I get up with you? He's putting it out there. Take advantage of it, but do your own legwork. You do have to do your own legwork.
Needs to be a great deal. Off market is preferred. Off market is preferred. My definition of off market, if you Google the address and it's for sale somewhere online, it's not off market. So the best deals are going to come from either your marketing efforts or you're wholesaling or partnering with a wholesaler that already has it under contract. But they need to be great deals. If you don't know what a great deal is, go to dealyoulater.com, use the calculator, plug in the number, and say, oh, this is not a great deal. So yeah.
And I just want to say something. I'm looking for multifamily. So if any of you all have any multifamily, preferably in the Georgia, Atlanta area, but wherever you have it, please send it over to Ty. Ty, get it over to me, and or whatever the case may be. And I'm looking to purchase as many doors as possible. So,
whoop, see, partnerships on partnerships on partnerships. Yeah, better get it. And you can reach Renikia again across all social media platforms. It's on the screen there, and at fundmynextdeal.com, or simply email funding@fkfinancials.com. You heard it. She said it. Multifamily properties, and she probably letting you go one leg less, and she'll figure out whether it's a good deal. Go forth, knock on doors, find doors, multiple doors. And without further ado, we'll see you guys next week on the flip side.
Flip man, it's the flip man. You want some money in your hand? Flipping houses without credit or your cash. Get that bag.